Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be looking at Pytorch setup before we start any code. If you are going to use your workstation or laptop, make sure that Pytorch is set up appropriately. The way to do that is to follow the official Pytorch installation guide. Three things determine your installation. One is your OS, Python version, and decide CUDA support, right? Whether you want GPU support or not. If you are using Colab, you don't need to worry about anything. Pytorch and its associated libraries are pre-installed, and you just go ahead and start coding. There are some compatibility notes. Good to have 3.7, Python 3.7 or higher. CUDA support, if you have a GPU on your workstation or laptop, good to have it. You understand how to code in it. Memory requirements at least have 4 GB. It should be good enough for most of the examples we are going to see as part of this Pytorch tutorial, but at least have 4 GB, right? Dependencies, NumPy and Matplotlib are required. If not now, slightly later. NumPy for computations and Matplotlib for visualizing data and results. Okay, so let's start coding. The first piece of code is, of course, importing Torch. Okay, which is the importing the Pytorch library, that is, and which is like the most important thing for this tutorial, right? It's the one that enables all your deep learning work. So import Torch and also print the Pytorch version. Okay, printing the Torch version is useful because when somebody else is running your code, he or she can look at what version was used, because there could be some differences between different versions of Pytorch, especially in the APIs, right? Therefore, it's good practice to do this, right? Whatever version of Pytorch was used. The second piece of code is importing NumPy as np import matplotlib.pyplot. Pyplot is what helps you actually generate the visualizations. So you import that as PLT. You'll use this a lot when you're trying to plot, XY scatter plots, etc. And of course, you also import matplotlib, right? So these three are very important because a lot of times you will also end up creating NumPy arrays, and NumPy arrays and Pytorch tensors. You can go switch between them very smoothly. Okay, so interoperability is there, so you can do some processing in Python and then transfer to Pytorch seamlessly, right? So but then for doing the computations in Python, you do need NumPy, right? And sometimes it's good to visualize your data and results. So Matplotlib is also a required library, and what we do is we just print the versions for reference. This is also a very useful programming practice, so that people know what versions are being used, right? So NumPy version 2.02 and Matplotlib version 3.110. So this is what prints np.version and matplotlib.version. Okay, and there are 2 underscores here, so make sure when you type you have that. Okay, same thing here too, 2 underscores before and after version. Third, we check for GPU availability. So this is like the exciting part of the code, I guess, as far as this tutorial is concerned. So torch.CUDA is available is the function which returns true if you have a GPU when in your workstation CUDA enabled. So it and returns false otherwise. So if it is true, then you can print the device. This one here, it'll print a number and then the name of the device, okay, and the compatibilities of the device, okay, capabilities, sorry, not compatibility, capabilities of the device and the device properties. So let's print this out and we'll see. Okay, so CUDA available is true because I have connected to a T4. So the device name, it prints as T4, that's what the device name is. The device, you get a number 0, it's 0 because that's how it's labeled. So if you have multiple GPUs, each of them will have like 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., right? And if you look at the device properties, you will have the total memory. Let's say this one memory is about 15 GB of RAM, virtual RAM, which is very good for most of what we are trying to do. Okay, all right, so we will stop here for this video, and from the next one we're going to look at tensors. Thank you.